How we doing, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Richie Hicks Jr. Sports Podcast. I am your host, Richie, here with my guys, Mr. Brett Bandick, Window 2, coming at you live, Winter Haven, Florida. Window 1, my co-host, Mr. Idris Salam, North Carolina, a.k.a. Bosco from the Bronx.
Ash Vegas in the building.
Yes, sir. I'm your host, Richie, in beautiful St. Cloud, Florida. And tonight is our Week 7 NFL preview. If you haven't already, please make it a point to like and subscribe to the channel, the Richie Hicks Jr. Sports Podcast on YouTube. And tonight we are hitting on some very interesting games. This is, in my opinion, a tough week to call. I think we've got quite a few games that are going to be a little 50-50-ish. And it all starts in the Big Easy with the boys from Duval, the Jacksonville Jaguars, heading to New Orleans. Jags are coming off a commanding win, really putting a pounding down on the Indianapolis Colts, whereas their opponent, the New Orleans Saints, just trying to get a little healthier at the quarterback position. Carr has been banged up, but he's been playing through some things. And, Trevor Lawrence also got a little dinged. So I believe that what's going to decide this game, just putting it out there and up front, it's going to be the defenses. Who can get heat on the other team's quarterback more consistently, and who can essentially shut down the other team's run game. Travis Etienne's really been awesome lately. ATN, I always murder that man's name. He's been awesome lately. His last two games, particularly in England, he's just really gone off. If T-Law plays, we win. Jordan Patrick. But it's not wise to let him out there. Yeah, Jay, I agree with you. I wouldn't play Trevor Lawrence. I think it's too chancy. He's too valuable. And I think you got CJ Beathard. That's a cool name. He's going to be taking over the reins in the event that Trevor can't go. So go ahead. Okay. Let's hear it. No. Pass the baton. Let's go.
The Jaguars it's time for them to lose. And I want to say that no disrespect, Jordan Patrick. Big ups to you, man. It's just these are one of those games where they seem like they pour it on someone and they just lay an egg. But they're at New Orleans. Carr's not really feeling it yet. Kamara does what Kamara does, but you still need a quarterback, or Jameis Winston's not going to deliver. They got Taysom Hill, but they don't know what they want to do with him. I think it's all going to rest on if Trevor Lawrence plays or not. If he doesn't play, I think New Orleans has a chance in the Big Easy. If he doesn't play, I just don't see how they can beat New Orleans, even though New Orleans is struggling. I mean, they've played good defense.
Yeah, the defense.
They just can't finish people off. And it's just going to come down to Trevor Lawrence. If he plays, they'll win. If he doesn't, they won't. And I just hope they don't do Trevor Lawrence like Cincinnati did Joe Burrow. Throw him out there. That he wind up looking worse or getting hurt or whatever, even though Burrow's recovering pretty good. I would sit him. But I'm taking New Orleans in this one still.
Bretsky, your thoughts on this matter?
Yeah, even if Lawrence still plays, they're still going to lose. You're going into Big Easy against a top 10 defense. And I tell you what, in that city, and I'm still hit or miss with Jacksonville. Yes, they played great overseas. But guys, this is the same team that lost two home games.
Yeah.
Before they traveled overseas. You know what I mean? So I'm not hyped on them this yet. Calvin Ridley still hasn't come into his own yet, and then offense, he's still hit or miss with me. Richie, you hit on ETN. He's really stepped up his game. But that defense that New Orleans has.
Damn, he was flying 2 on a go. Here he is. He's back. Good.
Back.
I hope.
Yeah, no. No, he that defense is the one thing keeping them alive. And depending on if Carr plays or not, I mean, either way, the guy's still improving. Carr is improving. I want to see him improve more in the Big Easy against Mr. Duval.
Hey,
so I'm still taking New Orleans in a low scoring matchup, 2017 at home.
When Brett disappeared, and it had the little pop sound like Nightcrawler from the X-Men where he disappeared. It was like poof, and then next thing you know, he appeared at the bottom.
I was like, no, he's flying. He's making a good point.
He was killing too. And poof, pop back.
Nightcrawler, baby, Nightcrawler.
If you'd have seen it, Brett, you'd have laughed because it made it sound like poof.
I'm close. I'm close to what Brett's talking about. I'm going 23-17 in favor of the home team.
Yeah.
I do think Trevor Lawrence is going to play. I think it's a 50-50, but I don't think he's 100%. But even if he was 100%, I don't like this matchup right now for Jacksonville because I think they had a crazy advantage, and I mentioned this on a previous show when they played the Bills. Mm-hmm. We know what they've been doing with their running game, and Jordan will tell you this just as much as I will. Trevor Lawrence, while being a very dynamic player and one of the ascending stars in this league, still has an issue with the INTs.
Yes.
And it goes back to his days in Clemson, too. I mean, the kid's awesome. And at this point, I'm actually comfortable putting him ahead of Justin Herbert, who he actually beat in a head-to-head matchup in the playoffs because that whole Charger team has gone backwards. We'll hit on them as we move along. But I think this is a game that the Saints just need a little more. And I think it's time for Jacksonville to finally catch an L away from Duval because they've been so good on the road and in neutral sites that I actually think this is the week that they go down. And I'm expecting a defensive struggle, but I think New Orleans takes better care of the football. And I'm going to call it now. There will be a signature Evan Ingram drop that's going to help out the New Orleans Saints. It is coming.
It's coming.
Turnover.
I love Nightcrawler.
Nightcrawler.
And fellas, let's not forget that in that playoff game last year that the Jaguars won.
Yeah.
Lawrence had a horrific first half. Very rarely do you get a chance.
Yeah.
I think the last guy to throw that many interceptions in a game and come away the winner was actually Tony Romo, who threw 5 at Buffalo.
Yeah, what do you threw? 4 picks in the first half? Was it 3 or 4 picks?
It was
4. And Asante Samuel Jr. had 3 of them.
Yeah, 3 of them.
Crazy. It was that was a crazy game. That game was over, man. And then next thing you know,
and how Staley didn't get fired after that game, I will never understand. But you know, one of the most, they call it Wild Card Weekend for a reason, and it had shades of like the Bills and Oilers old school comeback, or even the Music City Miracle when they got some revenge on them. You know, it had that kind of vibe. Or the 49ers Giants. I hate talking about that, but it had that vibe.
Yeah.
Atlanta Falcons making the trip out to Tampa, keeping it in the South. Buccaneers coming off, I wouldn't say a disappointing loss. Coming off a loss against a team that they're just not better than. Yeah. The Detroit Lions right now are an elite football team, whether people are totally buying them or not. But Good Baker needs to come out if they're going to win this football game. I still think that the Tampa defense is vastly underrated because of the fact that people forget that they still have some key ingredients from that Super Bowl run that is still there now. And being in Tampa, it's going to be back to being a little warmer this week against a dome team. I don't think Atlanta's offense is going to fly on the same cylinders that it would if they were in the dome. And I also think that Baker is going to get back on that good rapport with Godwin, Evans, and Co. Bijan Robinson, if you can hold him to 80 yards or less, I think it really bodes well for Tampa. And I think they're going to do that. And I think they're going to force a couple of Desmond Ridder INTs. possibly a strip sack or a hit for a fumble.
Mhm.
I'm going to say it now. I think Algier has more yards on the ground than Bijan, but I don't think the duo gets it done. I think the duo that gets it done is going to be Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, and Good Baker will appear for this week. I got the Bucs winning this.
Yeah, I don't see that.
27-20. 27-20 Bucs.
Yeah, I
27-7.
don't see them losing 2 games at home, especially to an offense not quite up to par the way Detroit's is right now.
Sorry to interrupt you, Brett. They've already lost 2 games at home.
Yeah.
I mean, 2 games in a row at home. Oh, yeah, you're right. This is the 3rd game at home, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
they're like Jacksonville. They've been good everywhere else.
No, you're right. Yeah, because they lost to Philly and now Detroit. Okay.
Yeah.
No, you're right.
They've lost to 2 elite teams, though, to their defense.
Yeah, no, I don't see them losing a 3rd at home, especially against that Atlanta offense that, they're not in sync. I mean, yeah, I can see, Bijan still putting up, anywhere between 70 to 80 yards, but the way that Atlanta's quarterback is playing right now, he's not making good decisions. I just don't trust that Atlanta offense on the road against that Tampa Bay defense that you were talking about. But I do think that we finally do see a good Baker, this weekend. Evans is coming back, Godwin. I trust Tampa more at home than I do Atlanta on the road right now.
And to your point, Brett, they're due for a home win.
No, they are. They are absolutely due for a home win. I'm gonna take Tampa on this one. 29-17. 29-17 at home.
Everything y'all guys say, I think excuse me. I think Tampa Bay's going to crowd the box to stop Algiers and Robinson. They're going to make Ritter throw. Ritter, I see Ritter as a backup. He just has that backup feel where, I mean, he's young, but he's going to try to force it into London like he always does. And they're going to make him throw the ball. The one thing I like about Baker Mayfield, in the past, if he lost, he wouldn't take responsibility, no accountability. He had this little cocky attitude to where now he's like, look, we just got to play better. It's like he grew up. He knows, look, I got another chance to be a starter. They want me here. This is my job to lose.
He got humbled out, bro.
Yeah.
Like getting kicked around a little.
And he's showing he really, he knows, like, I screwed up. And he's taking accountability. He's like, look, we got to get better. We got to play better. Da, da, da. He's saying all the right things, basically. And I don't want to use a cliche, but he's saying all the right things. Tampa's defense is good. They say they're going to crowd the box.
They're going to try to force Ritter, to your point.
To throw.
To have to force shit to London.
Mm-hmm.
I do want to say this, and I'm going to pass it back to you. I don't want to steal your words here. I just want to say one thing real quick. Jonnu Smith, this is interesting.
Mm-hmm.
He's been balling out, whereas the guy that everybody thought was going to be a perennial Pro Bowler has never met that yet, Kyle Pitts.
Kyle Pitts.
And I do want to make a shout out, Jonnu Smith, the first NFL player out of my sister's alma mater, FIU. He's finally hitting his stride now. Jonnu Smith is doing his thing right now.
Pitts is a big disappointment.
Pitts just scored. Pitts scored. Was it his first touchdown this past weekend?
Yeah, he's way overdue. He's way overdue.
But like I said, Jonnu Smith stepping up, and it's some people might say maybe Pitts is getting more attention in those 2 tight end sets, and that's why Jonnu is getting more footballs. But the bottom line is, this is not a new thing or new news with Kyle Pitts. He's been a vast disappointment since entering the NFL, and it's unfortunate.
See, that was my next thing. I'm glad you mentioned that because Pitts needs to step it up, period. And I still think Ritter's going to force the ball because they're going to stop the run. They're coming to get him. And I'm saying Tampa Bay. I think Mayfield's going to ball. I'm going to go 31-17 Buccaneers.
All right. 2 points away from my prediction. I said 29-17.
We all got an ATL on 17. That's kind of interesting how we all landed on that.
Yeah.
Breaked up.
We got the Washington Commanders heading to East Rutherford, New Jersey to play our New York Giants. The Commanders got a much-needed win last week in the ATL. Okay, I'm going to hit you with the negatives of the Commanders, and then I'll give you the positives. Their offensive line is not much better than the New York Giants. Nope. That's never a good thing because the New York Giants' offensive line is really bad.
Yeah.
Positives are they're playing some good defense all in all. Mm-hmm. And Scary Terry is still that dude.
Oh, yeah. He's going to do what he got to do.
And Sam Howell is well ahead of schedule in terms of being a legitimate starter in this league.
Yeah, he's playing well.
Keys to victory for the Commanders goes without saying that whether it's Tyrod or DJ back there, you've got to basically just do what everybody's been able to do for the most part. Flush out giant quarterbacks, force them to not get into their progressions, and, try to get a lot of 3 and outs. I'm calling for a defensive struggle here. Keys to victory for the G-men, kind of similar. You've got to get heat on Hal. You can't allow him to get comfortable, because it's a stadium that when the winds are swirling, it's not always the most ideal place to play a football game on the throwing end. But they've got to get heat on him. What I thought Wink Martindale called a beautiful game against the Buffalo Bills this past week.
Great game.
A game we should have won, but we didn't. And, Saquon Barkley, another week removed, now that he got his feet wet a little bit in Buffalo, 24 touches he had. I expect a heavy dose of Saquon and a little bit of everything else. I do think that this particular week, if Daniel Jones is on the field, he actually gives the Giants a better chance to win. Daniel Jones owns Washington, and he don't own too much, but he does own Washington.
5-1-1.
Yeah, I've got the Giants winning a close one here. I'm gonna go 20-18 Giants.
With me, if our defense plays like we played against Buffalo, and that's probably our best defensive game of the year.
For a couple of years.
The corners actually, except for Dory Jackson, I don't know what's going on with him. Everyone Pinnock balled out. Everyone did their job. When you hold Buffalo to what they did, you're doing your job. 15 points, 16 points? You're doing your job. We 14. Had our chances. 14? Yeah, we had our chances. We should have won that game. Even without the interference that wasn't called, we should have won that game. Period. We did enough to win the game. 5 trips in the end zone, red zone. Should have won that game. I feel more comfortable with Tyrod Taylor. Well, Tyrod, that's his real name, is Tyrod Taylor. I think, and I'm glad we signed him. When we signed, I was like, oh, we got a backup that can play football. He doesn't make mistakes. I feel better with him. I would sit Jones down because they say he's still having a little pain on the left side. I would go with him because Tyrod is smart. He's not going to throw the stupid pass. He's not going to eat the ball when you're 10, 15 yards behind the line of scrimmage. DJ doesn't do that anyway, but I feel more comfortable with Tyrod Taylor. I think we're going to get a heavy dose of Saquon because that second half, Saquon was breaking him. He was hitting that hole, bam. Darius Slayton, I'm glad he's stepping up. We need to get the ball to Moore. Robinson across the middle. Waller's coming in. Waller's healthy.
Waller is gradually, getting his place on this team. I want to ask this, guys.
Yeah.
We know it was a call that was ignored. It is what it is. Mm-hmm. Does Waller catch that ball?
Yeah.
I believe so, too.
I'll tell you why. Because the left arm the shirt was pulled out on the left side, so he couldn't get that hand up. But the right hand was up. and he was pulled from the goal line all the way to the end zone. So, and with Washington, Howell is coming to his own, but Howell is erratic at times. We've seen how he can throw 4 interceptions easily.
Well, we saw Buffalo get to him.
Yeah, Buffalo got to him. McLaren, there's nothing to say about him. He's going to do what he does.
That's going to be a big assignment for Adoree.
Yeah.
That is actually, if we're really going to be honest,
game.
that could potentially be the matchup of the game because I know it's early in the young guy's career, but I think Deonte Banks is starting to get to that level where he is essentially becoming the New York Giants' number 1. He has been sensational better this year. In a very bad season, he's been awesome.
He's playing better because the first week he was getting toasted, but he's getting better and better each week, which I'm glad.
Now, Jordan, I gotta call him here. Don't be a homer, my dudes. You're about to lose by 7. Maybe Jordan has a short memory. We don't lose consistently to these guys.
Nah, we don't. Like I said, Daniel Jones 5-1-1 against.
There is no team that the New York Giants have beaten more than Washington.
Yeah, not Wellington. It was Wellington Mara said when the Giants beat Washington, it warms his heart. I got to look up the quote, but he said something similar to whenever the Giants beat the Washington. I think he said whenever the Giants beat the Washington, some to the effect that he loves to see the pain in the Washington Redskins at the time.
Yeah, because back then it was every bit of the rivalry.
Yeah, but to cut it off because I'm dragging with this one.
No, you're getting nostalgic, bro. You're warming up my heart right now.
I know, man. I'm gonna go Giants 27-17, man.
You got the Giants putting up 27 this week?
27-17.
Oh boy, I like your optimism. I don't agree though. And I'm gonna just say this quickly before I pass to Brett.
My fantasy team got a bye, man, so I'm gonna lose this.
The reason I said 20-18 is because in typical Giant fashion, similar to the last year's overtime game against these guys, they'll give up a late touchdown. Riverboat Ron has to go for 2.
Yeah.
That's where they don't convert. 4 field goals for Washington prior to that touchdown, 2018. G-Man Bretsky, go ahead and take all the time you need.
You called it last week, though, with the Ravens game.
I sure did.
You nailed that one.
Yeah.
I'm good with the kickers. Shout out Tim Macri. I'm good with the kickers.
You nailed that one, boy.
Boys, listen, I'm not going to share the same enthusiasm you guys have right now.
Of course not.
There's 2 words to your keys to victory, and 2 words only. Clock management. And that did not happen this past weekend against a team that you should have beat.
True.
You should have beat.
True.
You can blame the last call on the refs and at the final play of the game.
How do you move?
Going into halftime.
He's right though. He's right.
Yeah, he's right. He's right.
Going into halftime, that game, the last 2 plays that you had going into half should have been played a lot differently. And not only is that on your head coach, which apparently he said, it was supposed to be a pass play, and he audibled, yada, yada, yada.
Well, he definitely audibled. We saw that.
Yeah, we saw that.
No, I know that. But at the end of the day, that should have been handled a lot differently. And it came down to clock management, and that's a thing that you have to use to beat this Washington team that you're playing against this weekend.
To piggyback your point about the clock management, I didn't like them calling that timeout with 30 seconds left in the half.
No.
It was their final timeout. They panicked, and that is, to your point, on the head coach. Who's winning, Brett?
We had Downs the
Yeah. Listen, boys. Like I said, I don't share the same enthusiasm you do. However, I do like the way that Saquon looked in the fourth quarter of that game. It looked like he was getting stronger as the game went on. That part, I actually do like what I see. But however, I still don't. I don't have that much trust in Danny Dimes. I just don't do it.
He's not necessarily playing.
Yeah, he might not be playing. It might be Tyrod Taylor.
It's honestly up in the air right now.
If it's either way, the quarterback play and the quarterback decision making has to improve if you want to beat this team. I think Washington has a better all around team than you do at this moment in the season. And the way that Washington is playing, I just think I think their chances are better. I like the way Powell's playing, the way you guys mentioned. Gibson actually looked good this past weekend. He got some touches. He got in the end zone. He got 6, and Scary Terry's going to do his thing. I'm going to take Washington on this one. It's going to be close. It's going to be close. I'm going to say 23-17 in Washington.
Right on, right on.
No, neither result will blow my mind. We've got the Buffalo Bills at 4-2 heading to Gillette to take on the 1-5 New England Patriots. The Patriots offense, broken, fellas. We know this. Top 5 draft pick on the horizon, no question. We know what Buffalo did. We just talked about it for a good while. Keys to victory, short, sweet, and simple. If you do not get heat on Josh Allen, you don't have a puncher's chance because of the sheer fact that your offense is a sporadic shit show, unfortunately, right now. The New England Patriots, the silver lining is you could potentially tank for the next quarterback, whether that's Drake May, whether that's Caleb Williams, whether that's someone else. You do have the ability to tank for the next quarterback. As the game goes, I like Buffalo.
That's what the Cowboys
and it's not going to be that close. I've got the Buffalo Bills winning this thing. I'm going to go 30-10. 30-10 on the road. Get no dub.
You want to go ahead, Mr. Patriot?
No, go ahead, Idris. I'll take the last one on this one.
Okay. Everything Richie said, it's a shame because I think New England's a good team. Not a great team. I think they're a good team outside of the quarterback. I think they're a good team.
I agree.
They have a decent defense. I think they need to run the ball more. I don't think they give Zeke the ball enough. I think they need to let him do what Zeke does. Let him pound the line. Let him use what he can do. I mean, he's not who he used to be, but he still brings enough to the table.
Trade him back to Dallas and get a 6th.
No, don't give him back to Dallas. I don't want to see him in Dallas. But New England has a good team. I think it's time to sit Mac Jones down. There's nothing going to happen. You're 1-5. You're going to be in last place because the Jets seem to find their wheels. Buffalo and Miami is not going too far down. They're finding their way. You got to put Zappy or the other kid in there, but you got to sit Mac Jones down.
You got to do that if you're not tanking. I'm not convinced at this juncture that these boys aren't tanking.
Yeah, I mean, but still, I'm the type that play to the final whistle. But still, you got to sit him down. This guy, this is not the guy. And like I said on Facebook, I still felt they should never let Cam Newton go. He wasn't great. He wasn't who he used to be. However, I think he would have brought something to the table. Because Mac Jones, like I said, yeah, you're right about that. That's soft doodle butter too.
Yes,
just like I always say about
Velveeta
quarterbacks, Oklahoma quarterbacks, Ohio State quarterbacks, USC quarterbacks. They are overrated. They got a whole bunch of blue chip players around them to make them look good.
Thank you, Idris. Thank you, Idris.
CJ Stroud might break the mold from Ohio State. Tua, same thing. They put everything around Tua. But these guys are not NFL quarterbacks. Period. And Mac Jones is not the first Alabama quarterback that's been drafted over the last 10 years. There's been a bunch of them.
No, the story's real. It's a short list of guys that have the potential to crack that. You just said it. Mm-hmm. Brett. Well, what's he finally? I'm sorry. A lot to a little.
It's around. I'm going 35-12, man.
Okay, Bretsky, you are up. Gotta hear this.
Okay. Yeah. No, you're going to hear this. Listen, boys. Buffalo barely beat a below average New York Football Giants team last week, 14-9. 14-9 at home in a primetime game.
Not that we had 12.
Okay.
No, you thought that we kicked a field goal, but we didn't.
Yeah, you thought. Yeah. Listen,
I thought we had a win, but go ahead.
Our defense is better, even without Judon and Christian Gonzalez.
Yeah.
I think we'll put up a better. I think we'll put up a fight at home. My only question is Matt going to get the start? And I hope he doesn't. And I'll tell you why. I hope he doesn't. Because number one, Rich, I don't agree with you on tanking. I don't think we're intentionally tanking. I think, when preseason started, I talked about this Malik Cunningham kid and how I was actually pretty excited to watch him play. He made some good choices in the preseason game. He looked really good. I'm hoping if he doesn't get the start, he somehow comes into the game and makes an impact. Either way, I want to see this kid play just to give our offense just a little spark. Because with the Mac Jones offense, you know what you're going to get, and it's shit. It's trash. Okay, I got to see something new. I got to see some kind of spark. I got to see a flare, something exciting. With Malik Cunningham, I think our offense has the ability to do that. Number one, because this freaking guy can scramble. He's got the legs, and he has more of a rocket arm than freaking Mac does. Okay, I need to see a change in this offense. And I'm pretty sure the entire offense will agree with me. I mean, granted, they're going to stick up for Mac, yada, yada, yada. I mean, I'm hearing all this chatter in the locker room, but at the same time, that offense needs a change of pace. Yeah. Something needs to happen to give this team some kind of spark. And if Malik Cunningham gets in there, or even if Bailey Zappi goes in there, I'm pretty sure Zappi can give him some kind of spark. But something's got to change for this offense to go where it's supposed to go. Either way, I think we're going to put up a fight. As far as the dub goes, I don't think it's going to happen on the road. I lied. It would surprise me if we won. It would.
You're in the borough. You're in the borough.
I know we're in the borough, but we also got spanked in the borough 2 games back to back. I don't know. I think we're going to keep it close, though, just because they're a division rival. It's Buffalo. That Josh Allen's Stephon Diggs combo is damn near unbeatable right now. That combo, the quarterback wide receiver combo they have, the chemistry they have right now is great. I don't trust Buffalo's run game. I trust our run game more than I do Buffalo's. And I'll tell you what, Zeke showed me something last week. He showed me he still has the speed. He still has the power. The Wildcat play they ran. Boom, right up the gut. He was in there for 6. And there was a couple times he surprised me. He did surprise me with the speed. The speed still is there, and so is the power. So if there can be, a 50-50 shot with him and Stevenson, I mean, they just got to run the ball. They got to run the ball.
Well, yeah, you got to shorten the game when you're playing it. It's what the Giants attempted to do, but you got to shorten the game when you're playing.
You got to shorten the game. You got to shorten the game. You got to lessen, Buffalo's chances of Josh Allen being on the field as many times with Stephon Diggs. Run the clock management. Coming back at you, clock management. Run the freaking ball. The only problem is that we gotta score. You gotta get in the end zone, especially against this Buffalo offense. The way they're freaking. Him and Diggs, like I said.
I don't mean this with any grain of disrespect because we're going through a similar struggle.
Mm-hmm.
Your best way to the end zone might be off of a lopsided turnover where you're in front of their doorstep or something to the house. No
Dude,
disrespect.
we haven't had a pick six at all this season. We had 7 of them in like 8 games last year.
Well, to be fair, Brett, you were a
we
better
haven't-
team last year. To be fair,
Yeah.
you lost a lot of personnel.
Yeah.
I mean, we got
and I get it.
we got JC Jackson
Jackson's back. Jackson's back, but this is the ultimate issue that I still see for you. Yes, Buffalo's banged up on defense too.
Mm-hmm.
You made the point about they struggled against. I get it, but you're missing one key ingredient why the Giants kept that game so damn close. Number one, Brian Dable knows Josh Allen better than his own fucking current head coach. Sorry, Curse.
Right.
And the other thing here is Wink Martindale called his best game as the New York Giants defensive coordinator, and it still led to a loss.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And my thing is this: Buffalo is a good enough team, similar to the Miami Dolphins, like they did with Carolina, similar to the Kansas City Chiefs. I don't think the Bills were necessarily sleepwalking. I think the Giants challenged them. I think the Bills outlasted them. But the biggest problem for me here, and it's been my problem all year with you guys, going back to last year, you need a number 1 receiver. You need to draft accordingly in this offseason. I like your enthusiasm about your vision of what you want to see, but the reality is until you guys completely do a do-over on some of the key components of what needs to be fixed, Patriots are not going to beat too many teams in this league because there's too many talented teams, and you have a very tough schedule this year.
I know.
Which is cool.
I know. We got Buffalo, then Miami back to back. The schedule's not getting easier.
What's your final here? What's your final?
50-3.
My final is 24-23 Buffalo.
Oh God, Brett, that's the homer juice. After all he said, he still hit us with the homer juice. Less notables of week 7.
No, I didn't. I said
Less
Buffalo.
notables of week 7. Seattle
I said
Seahawks.
Buffalo, Homer.
What's 24?
1 point game, Brett?
1 point game.
Less notables of week 7.
Where my other glasses at?
Less notables of week 7. The Las Vegas Raiders by 8 over the Chicago Bears. I got the Colts beating the Browns by 4. Pittsburgh 23, Los Angeles Rams 16. Anything
I don't agree
you
with,
guys want to rebuttal here?
Yeah, I don't agree with your last 2 games, actually. I don't agree with Cleveland losing to the Colts.
Okay.
Number 1, I think Deshaun is coming back.
Mm-hmm.
Is this game being played at Cleveland or at Indy?
They're in Indy.
Indy.
They're in Indy. Okay. The way Minshew Mustache played last week, that was a rough game to watch, especially for him. And I'm rooting for the guy, but going against that Cleveland talented secondary and how fast they are and how they can pressure the quarterback with just 4 rush linemen, I don't see Minshew having a good game. Unless the combination of Mack and Taylor finally come together, then yes, I can see Indy possibly winning this game. But I don't think Jonathan Taylor, he's nowhere near to being in full season form the way that he should be. I'm going to take Cleveland in that matchup on the road. 24-16 Cleveland on the road.
I see. I'm going with Indy. I was going to go with Cleveland, but I'm going to go with Indy because Deshaun Watson, even in the game, he hasn't looked particularly well. He's looked
Nobody at quarterback this year for the Browns has looked particularly well. They won that game on the back of their defense.
So I'm not too. And if he doesn't play, I think Mustache Minshew is going to lead this team to win, and I think it'll be more than 20. No, I'll say it'll be about 20 because that Cleveland defense is good. But the upset I am going to call is Arizona. I think they're going to go into Seattle and pull out the victory.
That might be a trap game. I actually kind of agree with you, Bruce. That
Yeah,
might
yeah.
be
I see
a
the
trap
trap.
game for
I see
them.
the trap game. Yeah. I
Yeah.
think it's going to be more 24-21 Arizona.
Yeah, but the Steelers Ram game, I'm hit or miss too. Like I like the way the Rams are playing, man.
But they're playing in LA
Pittsburgh.
though. That's
Yeah, Pittsburgh's coming off a bye week. They've had time to rest, but the Rams are playing good ball, man. And the way that Williams kid is running the ball, he's running hard, man. And Cooper Kupp is looking healthy. Stafford is looking healthy. Like it's kind of hard to go against them.
But who's looking to block TJ Watt? If you give me an answer there, I might hear this.
That's the thing.
Well, I mean, they can veer away on the other side of the football
field. They can veer all they want, dude. The Steelers have their own offensive issues. I'll be the first to admit that. But going over there, even on the road, it's going to be a 50-50 split in terms of fans because we all know how well Pittsburgh Steelers fans travel. Similar to the Dallas Cowboys when they played the Chargers just a few days ago. Sounded like a Dallas home game.
TJ Watt plays on the left side of the line, but he'll be on the right side of the line. TJ Watt is all over the field. He's in your back. When you look up, he's on you already. Yeah, so no one's blocking this guy.
Top 3 defender in the NFL as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. This game has a lot of potential for overtime. I'm going to say 26-23 Rams OT.
Ooh, yeah. We'll see. I mean, the Rams have pleasantly surprised me, but I'm sorry, man. That Pittsburgh defense is going to get after Stafford, make him uncomfortable, and I actually think that Kupp might have a quiet day. We're moving it. Yeah. We got the Lions heading to Maryland. They're taking on the Baltimore Ravens. This is, in my opinion, the toughest game for me to pick for the entire week.
Mm-hmm.
I want to pick the Lions. I do.
Yeah.
But I'm not. Baltimore, I'm going to go Baltimore 26, Detroit 24. Justin Tucker kicks them away, kicks them to victory.
Again.
And I think I think the difference in this game is going to be a couple of uncharacteristic turnovers on the part of the Detroit Lions, and I also smell a special teams play that might burn them here. Detroit's starting to get used to being told how good they are, and they're starting to get used to being a legitimate elite team. Mm-hmm. I think this is the week where they get pushed back a peg, and I also believe that the loss of David Montgomery is going to be very evident in this particular matchup.
I'm going with what you said. I still think Detroit will eke it out. I think it's going to be close. Baltimore, you don't know what you're getting with these guys, man. You don't know what you're getting with them. They look like they'll come out to beat your brains in and be like, oh, man, they struggle to it.
Yeah, they've been inconsistent for sure. No question about that.
Yeah, but I think I'm going to go with Detroit, but it wouldn't surprise me if Baltimore win one reason because of the weather. They got the same thing, the swirling wind in there. They know David Montgomery, so they can't run the ball like they want to run the ball. That being said, I'm going to change my pick. I'm going with Baltimore in a close one, 24-21. I think Justin Tucker will get a few because he does. Yeah. He does what he does.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got to be like, in our generation, probably, I go back to the 60s.
He is the greatest kicker.
This guy is like
historically, in my opinion.
Yeah, he's like Adam Vinatieri, man.
The thing with Vinatieri, though, Vinatieri's not even as accurate as Tucker.
No.
Vinatieri got the big game moments.
No, it's just like
Tucker does too.
Yeah. When I say what we not compared it to, I mean, I'm going with Tucker. Because I think Tucker has a stronger leg. No matter where you put Tucker, he's kicking from the parking lot.
Absolutely.
He might make it.
Absolutely.
He might make it. Yeah, I'm going 24-21 Baltimore. Tucker kicks 2 or 3.
All right. For sure, Montgomery is not playing in this game.
He's out.
He's out.
He's out.
He's out. He's out for a bit.
Yeah, he's out for a minute. Yeah, he's out.
All right. Well, even with that, I still think Gibbs, rookie running back. He's fast. You know, you take Montgomery out of that running game for Detroit. You know, they can still do end arounds with, you know, St. Brown, with Reynolds. You know what I mean? Like, the running game is still there for Detroit. I think they have a better all around offense than Baltimore does. You know, Bateman's not coming around. Zay Flowers is literally their primary number one receiver right now. After all the talent that they have, and he's a rookie. It's kind of hard to trust that. You know, and really the only chances of Baltimore has running the ball is with their RPO. You know, with Lamar and you know, you throw Hill in the mix. You know, that's their best chance of winning this game. You know, you might see an occasional sighting of Mark Andrews, you know, maybe one time in the end zone, but he'll maybe have a 30, 40-yard game. But granted, he might get in the end zone once. I'm still taking Detroit on this one. The way they're playing, they have a lot of confidence. They have confidence in their coach. They have confidence in their quarterback, and the way that they've been finishing the games. I'm taking Detroit in this one, boys. I don't trust Baltimore. It's because you don't know what you're going to get with them. It's 50-50 with them.
Mhm.
At this point in the season, I trust Detroit more than I do Baltimore. So I'm taking Detroit 30-19 on the road.
Everything that you said makes all the sense in the world, and it's all the more reason why I think the Ravens are going to win this game, because I don't think the NFL is ready for the 6-1 Detroit Lions. Take that however you choose to. I do want to say this.
Probably not. I mean, we deal with these games every week. You know what I mean? Like, look what happened to the Eagles and Niners this past week.
I do want to say this. Taking a page out of his Giant days, Odell Beckham Jr. throws a touchdown in this game to none other than his quarterback, Lamar Jackson.
Come on.
Los Angeles Chargers. Well, they need to get creative with ways to score. That's a good way to start. Los Angeles Chargers heading into Arrowhead. Listen, short and sweet. This is not going to be a blowout because I still don't think the Kansas City offense is clicking to the best way possible. But one thing I will say is that the Los Angeles Chargers are not mentally tough, and they're also not coached very well. Whereas the opponents, are we even going to question how well they're coached? The Chiefs have had these guys' number for quite some time. And this was a year that all of us were wrong, where we all thought that the Chargers were going to take the next step. That did not happen.
Not me.
Did not happen.
Not me.
Yeah. Okay.
Not me.
Truth.
I got Kansas City Chiefs. Kansas City Chiefs 31, Los Angeles Chargers 23. And I think that late touchdown is going to make the game look a little closer than it is. Because what I like what the Chiefs are doing, although they're not as explosive as they used to be, they're running the ball well and they're playing good defense. And that, my friends, is a recipe to do big damage in January into February. Chiefs by 8.
Okay. I reiterate, quarterbacks from Alabama, Ohio State, USC, Oregon, and Oklahoma do not fare well in the NFL. Been saying for the last 2 years, Justin Herbert is overrated. He's a good quarterback, but he's a little overrated. I've been saying it. And
how many colleges are you going to name? You just named like the top 10 colleges in the country.
I tell you what.
But he's not lying about the results of the QBs, though.
Name me
a
quarterback from them colleges that was a top 5 quarterback for at least 3 years. You can't.
Yeah.
You can't do it. Justin Herbert's a good quarterback. But just like in college, he can't win when it counts. He can't win in the NFL. He will get better, but he is not this quarterback. People say he's a great quarterback. He's a top 5 quarterback. Top 5 quarterbacks don't throw interceptions all the time at the end of the game. They don't have to wait till the last 2 minutes. Every game this year, it came down to the last drive.
Boys, Daniel Jones has more playoff wins than Justin Herbert. So that's where the greatness stops.
Right. Exactly. With way less talent.
Dude, Daniel Jones has more playoff wins than Justin Herbert. Let that marinate.
And he only
that's
has
a
one.
fact. That's a fact. I'll give you that.
He only has one. They got Big Frank back in KC, I think, and Mecole Hardman is coming back. They just re-signed him from the Jets. So that's going to help them. Because Mecole Hardman knows the offense.
Mm-hmm.
The Chargers, until Brandon Staley's gone, they're going to be.
They're not buying him. It's a matter of time.
He's average. The team is average.
Dead man walking too.
Yeah, I'm going with KC 30, Chargers 20.
I'm kind of on the same boat with you boys. I think the Chargers are a hot mess right now. Yeah, like Eckler came back and they didn't utilize him the way that they should have, especially in short yardage situations this past week. The play calling was just absolute trash. I don't like the way this franchise is going right now. And their defense can only do so much. And J.C. Jackson is now gone. You know what I mean? So it's like their secondary is kind of shot. Besides Khalil Mack, who is you know what I mean? He's kind of past his prime, but he's still good. But I don't trust that franchise right now, the way they're playing. And they're going on the road at KC. Is this a primetime game? Is this a Sunday nighter?
No.
31st ranked defense in the league. 31st ranked pass.
Yeah, it's horrible. I'm going to take KC in this one. No problem with this call here. I kind of agree on the same score, you, Idris. I'm going to go a little higher. I think KC actually is going to put more points on the board this week. I'm going to say 34-20 KC. I think their offense comes alive this week a little bit because their offense has been kind of a pitter-patter.
We were all in unison that the Chiefs are taking this one. We're coming up on about the 8-minute mark. So this is how we're going to play this. I'm going to give you my quick score because I really want to talk about this Dolphins-Eagles game more than I do with this one. 49ers at Minnesota, short and sweet. I said it on Sergio's show today. The 49ers are going to win by 7 exactly. I'm going 24-17. The Vikings defense has played better, and the Niners have injuries. That's why it's only going to be a 7-point game.
37. Okay.
But no JJ, no chance. That's all.
30-17 Niners. They don't have JJ. 30-17 Niners. No JJ.
What's your final here, Bretsky?
McCaffrey, I'm not quite sure what's going on with him yet. He's kind of a day-to-day thing. No Jefferson for Minnesota. Addison is currently the number 1 receiver, and he's a rookie. I'm taking San Fran on this one. 33-20.
All right. So, yeah, we don't see that Minnesota poses any threat. Minnesota is going to cash in well at the draft, be very good next year, just maybe.
Yeah.
Sunday Night Football, game of the week, in my opinion. We've got the Miami Dolphins and Philadelphia Eagles. These two teams have a combined record of 10-2. Dolphins offense kind of lackadaisical until they woke up, and then they whipped some ass out in Carolina. Eagles are coming off a bad loss, in my opinion. Not because the Jets are an easy win, but because they blew a 2-score lead, and that's something that the Eagles hang their hat on, is playing with a lead and keeping it. They've been good at that. Key matchups, in my opinion, the duo of Waddle and Hill against that Philly secondary, and the other potential advantage, at least in Philly's case, in my opinion, the running game and a strategy for success that essentially you want to keep that dynamic Mike McDaniel offense off the field. I got the Eagles not just winning this game, but winning this game big. Because while I am definitely a believer in Mike McDaniel's play calling abilities, I don't see this Miami team going into Philly with that raucous crowd and doing it. They're gonna get dirty and down low with this team, and they're gonna power them off the field. This is gonna look similar to what the 49ers did to them not too long ago last year. I've got the Eagles winning this thing 34-20. And everybody's going to be like, damn, the Dolphins only put up 20? Yeah, because they weren't on the field that long. The Eagles are going to bleed out the clock, do what they do. When Jalen Hurts cleans up the turnovers, they're going to whip them.
I'm going with the same score, actually, 34-20. I think the Eagles are going to pound it. They're going to squish the fish.
All right. Fish fry.
Squish the fish. That used to be
Sweet
a Jets
fish.
term about the Dolphins. Squish the fish. I just Philly's. It's hard to win in Philly.
This is the most promoted game of the week, but I don't think it's going to be the best one.
It's hard to win in Philly, man.
They're only favored by a point, which is kind of intriguing. On Sergio's show today, Sergio was pretty adamant that he's concerned if you take Philly because he's like, why is it only a 1-point spread?
Yeah.
I think they're looking for a sucker to take Miami here. I think Philly's going to beat their ass.
I think so too.
And I'm not Miami's team, don't get me wrong, but their defense isn't complete yet.
Yeah, it's hard to win.
Now, there's going to be a lot of good games this weekend. This is actually a really good week to sit back and enjoy football. I'm going to take, what I saw last week. Philly turned away from what they do to primarily win the games. They stopped running the ball. Even like they kept passing and play action. Run the freaking football.
They got frustrated.
You have the best offensive line in the league. And I don't get the play calling. It drove me nuts.
They got frustrated
this week. I don't see them. Yeah, like I don't see them making that same call this week because it's not the same front seven. I don't think Miami's front seven can really hang with that offensive line that Philly's got. I think Swift is going to have a really big game this week. AJ Brown is going to get his, but believe it or not, I think Goddard is going to have a field day this week. But I'm still taking Philly in this matchup. I think it's going to be a little low scoring because I see Philly running off the clock and running the ball. I don't see them putting up a whole lot of points. I'm going to go 29-17 Philly. I'm going to say they're going to hold Philly to 17 points. They're going to hold Miami to 17 points. And that's only because the Patriots held Miami to 24 points back about 2 weeks ago. So
when your defense was a lot healthier,
can be done. It can be done.
You got to keep them off the field, bro. That's the strategy to beat a team like that. You got to keep them off the field. I think Tua is going to turn the ball over a little carelessly. Miami's been sleepwalking a little and getting a little sloppy, and the run game's been bailing them out of a lot of bullshit. Idris, go ahead, buddy.
Oh, no, I gave mine. I already said mine. I'm 34-20.
Yeah, he did.
That's right. You agreed with me.
Yeah, same thing.
We got literally slightly over 90 seconds. Brett, I want your short answer on this. We talked about it off air. Bill Belichick, as a Patriot fan for you, as a Giant fan for me, a guy that we definitely have a world of respect for. I'm going to give you my quick answer, and I just want a quick rebuttal, and this is going to be a recurring theme on our show that we're going to continue to speak on.
Word.
I think Bill Belichick is going to be approached by the organization to consider retirement, and they're going to do it graciously. But I do think this is the beginning of the end for Bill, and if it's not this year, it's not far away. What are your thoughts?
My thoughts are very simple. We've given this entire NFL world 2.5 decades of winning. We have literally one losing season. And everybody's like, oh, he should retire. Oh, he should be gone. That's bullshit. That is bullshit. He's not going to retire. Granted, if he gets rid of that GM hat, absolutely, let's do that. Stick to coaching duties, absolutely. But the talk of retirement and cutting this guy loose, bullshit. It's bullshit.
I appreciate the honesty. That's how you feel. That's how he feels. That's how you
I
feel.
feel,
That's how
I
you
feel,
feel.
I feel like I'm a guy with like Tourette's.
It's
Like
it's the way he said it that got me
Bullshit.
laughing.
All right. Until next time, he is Brett. He is Idris. I am Richie. Bill Belichick has not had a playoff victory in 5 years. That's not what they're used to. Let's see how it plays. Good night.